What a week. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Milton Epperson coming back with another sneaker review. And today I'm not going to do the general unboxing of one shoe, save another shoe for another video type situation. These two boxes work in unison, so I just want to bring you two reviews all at once and show you how everything ties together, at least the shoes that I was able to acquire from the NBA All-Star break. I will say this. The shoes that I'm about to see, you probably saw in the thumbnail, the turbo greens, any shoe, whether it be turbo greens, infrared sixes, doesn't matter. Any shoe that anybody sees sitting at a store, like retail store, that doesn't necessarily mean it's sitting. Like, unless you have the manifest that shows you the inventory and stock of each shoe, how many sizes are available, you really don't know if that shoe actually is technically sitting. Yes, that particular pair is sitting, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they have a bunch of pairs, a bunch of sizes sitting at that store. So don't make that assumption that when people say, yes, I saw this shoe sitting at the store, but I'm sorry, if you don't have the manifest, you don't know, how much was already sold. So just take that with a grain of salt. So I think what happened was in the NBA All-Star weekend, I was not able to get anything on the sneakers app. It was crazy. Either the bots are really being aggressive now with the sneakers app, and I don't know what's going on. Lately, I haven't been able to get that, so I had to kind of fall back to another retail store in order to get these shoes. It wasn't easy because I can tell you right now, I had a lot of trouble getting into at least the turbo greens and the infrareds. I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure which box it is because I think I did one different size or whatever per store. But the boxes look similar. I will say, at least the fact that I didn't get it from Nike themselves, at least the box doesn't look like it. It doesn't have that traditional "I'm from Nike, steal me" thing. It looks like a traditional box with a package, so it kind of decreases the chances of it being stolen. You don't really necessarily know what's in the box unless you're looking at the UPC sticker that it came with. So with all the blabber and all that stuff out the way, let's just get straight in the shoe. I'm not just going to do this is the colorway, this is what the material is made of. I'm going to actually give you the back story to both shoes and how it ties into the NBA All-Star weekend that just happened in Charlotte about a week ago. And also I'm going to show you how, kind of do a little comparison of two shoes that you see down here, which you don't know yet until I actually get the box done. So let's get straight to the box. I don't know which shoe is which, so forgive me if I'm doing this like straight off the top of the head. That's what I do. Unedited stuff. Let's get into the box. And let's see which one's first up. Kind of excited. And I know immediately which one I'm going to go to after. So I can tell off the box. Let's see what we got. Yep. You already know which one we're reviewing first. If you're a sneakerhead, you're a fan of sneakers, you already know which one this is. The Jordan 6 infrareds. And you can tell it's got that quality control stamp here. And also, oh my God, I don't even see it on here. Ah, there you go. UPC code right there. Got a 12.5, so it's a personal pair for me. Let's get into the box. So, keep in mind, I've never owned a Jordan 6 series ever. Anybody that knows me, if you've seen my previous videos, I'm a big, huge Jordan 11, Jordan 3, sometimes a Jordan 1 fan. So this is actually my first pair of, holy smokes. Wow, the aroma coming from this thing is crazy. So without further ado, the Jordan infrared 6s. Now, excuse me for a second, because if you ever smell, this is my first time, again, owning a Jordan 6. You know how people do like the smell test inside the shoe to see what it smells like? This smells like nail polish. So, I'll lie to you not. If you jump in the shoe, you open the box, give it a whiff test, and it smells literally like nail polish, like the nail polish remover, So I guess that's one way of testing to make sure your thing is legit. I know mine's legit because this came from, I think both of them came from East Bay. So, but yeah, let's get straight into the shoe because we gotta give you, I gotta give you that history, that knowledge of why the shoe came out when it came out. Actually, let's take out both. So, off the back, Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I'm glad you didn't see that. It actually hit the fan. But anyway, let's get in the shoe. All right, so we got the infrared 6s. My first impression is actually it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I look at the sock liner, which is right here. The cushion actually reminds me of a little bit of the Jordan 13s. But just give me a second. I want to analyze this for a second. This looks dope. All right, I do see like on the upper portion of the shoe, it's got that 3M shield, and it's important to note, and I can look at this right away. It's important to note when you look at this shoe and you're looking at the upper, it's a tale of two halves. What I mean by that is if you look at the shoe from here, from the upper, from here to here, there's the 3M shield behind it, so when light comes in, it reflects off, and you can see that 3M technology. However, if you're looking from this portion to here, there is no shield. It's literally, the holes are exposed. So, I mean, if I'm thinking of this correctly, let me see if I can get a light source, right? That means that if I flash my light within these holes, it should go right through. Oh, God. There we go. So, yeah. Yep. Yeah, these holes are actually exposed. So, I need a strong light source, though. So, a trick you could do, let's turn this off. A trick you could do is actually, so you take this shoe, go straight to a light source, and you'll actually see the light shine right through inside the shoe. Let me just take this shoe tree out. And another thing I could already tell about the shoe is the insole can easily come out. And as I confirm, yes, I don't know if you can see that. Within the insole of the shoe, it's literally cardboard. So I'm not sure if you have like a Dr. Scholl's type solution, but this is how thick the insole is, which really isn't much. So for people that use this shoe that probably walk, play basketball, you're going to be standing on your shoe or standing in your shoe. My God, it smells like nail polish. If you're going to be standing in your shoe for long periods of time, you might want to consider getting something thick because it literally has this material in the bottom of the shoe. I'll try to take that out to show you guys. I heard a rumor about it, but oh, there you go. That's exactly what I'm talking about, yeah. So you can see these holes that are exposed. I'm hoping the light source is coming in on the holes within the tongue of the shoe, on the outside, right, and also the inside. So any light source hitting in, if you look inside the shoe, if you angle it just right, you can see those holes illuminating right inside the shoe, which is freaking crazy. Keep in mind, that's kind of important to know, especially if it rains and you decide to wear this. That means that water can easily seep in the shoe and kind of ruin your day. So let me just, actually, before I put that back in, I'm going to leave that right here. Because I look at it, all right, it's got that sort of smooth, I don't know if it's nubuck or suede or whatever, or a mixture of both. But it does have the Nike Air on the back, and you probably can't see this on camera. The lock lace is not necessarily like a hot pink. It's it has a little bit of pink hint into it. Basically, you have the red in the shoe. You have the red Jumpman logo. On the midsole of the shoe is red, but the lock lace does look like a little pink. So I will say this: there were 4 versions of this shoe, if I read correctly. And let's see now. So the first one was made in 1991, then 2000, then 2012, 2014, and now we have 2019, the 5th version. And the reason why I wanted to do both shoes is because Charlotte, if I'm not mistaken, Charlotte, when they hosted the NBA All-Star event, 2019 is not the first time they did it. It was back in 91. We all know that what this shoe is famous for. Jordan won his first championship, yada, yada, yada. But Jordan also wore this shoe in the NBA All-Star game, All-Star event back in '91 when it was also the first time that the NBA All-Star event came back to Charlotte, or came to Charlotte, I should say. So that's why this shoe was released, and particularly on the All-Star break, and that's why we're seeing it. We're seeing the original OG colorway that Jordan wore back in '91 when the NBA All-Star game was in Charlotte. Make sense? You stand with me? All right, so now that we know that, we can continue on the bottom. You got the Jumpman logo. You got the little translucent bottom with the black rubber. I think it's cool. I think that based off what I'm feeling, I know that I'm going to have a lot of support, a lot of cushioning inside the shoe. I just feel like the only flaw to this shoe, in my opinion, is the fact that you just got that cardboard bottom. And it's just probably, like I said, if you stand in your shoe for a long period of duration of time, whatever have you, it's going to feel uncomfortable over time. I can tell you that right now. So, another issue people had is the fact that this shoe was not the University Red version, which I think released in 2012. And honestly, this is where my comparison is going to come in. So I'm going to put this box to the side because we don't need this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the Jordan 33, I believe it was University Red version, right? Because the University Red, I want to compare the red on these shoes to the red that I'm seeing on the midsole of this shoe. Actually, the insoles as well. So let's just pull this out, and I'm going to see how far off the red is. So if you haven't seen my previous videos, you know I do own the Jordan 33 series with the system fit technology, pull string, no, blah, 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 blah. Go check out the video. If I'm comparing the red to, so the University Red, and honestly the red that came out with these infrared 6s, the original OG, it's not that far off. The only difference is that the University Red is probably a little bit darker. It's a darker red when I compare it, but it's not like there's a complete huge difference that you're going to say, okay, that's it, I'm not going to get the infrared 6s because it doesn't look exactly like these University Red hue. It doesn't have that dark red effect, but quite honestly, like I said, I'm comparing, and you can see it for yourself, that the red hue is not that far off. So I think that was a little bit over-exaggerated. And if you like the shoe for what it's worth, then just go grab it. But again, I'm just giving you a comparison. This is University Red. This is University Red hue compared to the Jordan 6 infrareds that we see right here. I decided to take the insole out because it'd be better to do it that way. It's the same colorway as you see on the heel of the shoe, on the midsole, in and out. And it actually has your air bubble there. You would think that how most shoes are made, you would have the outsole, usually the outsole, the midsole, there's layers in between. So you'll have your insole here, maybe another soft layer underneath, and then you'll actually have like the bottom of the shoe. There's nothing in between, so that's probably why it doesn't feel as comfortable as it should. But again, this is an OG shoe, so they wanted to keep everything original and how they made it back in the day. So, you know, take heed. But, you know, hey, get the Dr. Scholl's, call it a day. There's ways to make this shoe more comfortable. And honestly, you're not really looking on the outside. I'm sorry, you're not looking at the inside of the shoe. People are looking on the outside. So just take that with a grain of salt. So, yeah, that's basically the gist of why this shoe was released, in particular on the NBA, during the NBA All-Star event. Just the simple fact that Jordan actually wore the shoe during the All-Star game back in Charlotte, back in the 90s. So, yes, we know that he won his first NBA championship. Everybody knows that, but how that ties into the whole NBA All-Star, now you know. So, we got that shoe out the way. I think this is a dope shoe. I can't wait to break this in. And now we're going to move on to the second shoe. Because, again, I don't want to tie up too much of your time. You're really here. You probably saw a bunch of reviews. People talking about, you know, the Jordan 6s. Everybody and their mom has them. They've been restocking like crazy. So let's just put this down for a second. And let's move on to the second shoe that I was able to obtain during the NBA All-Star break. So, the second shoe, without further ado, get this open up. And again, I'm glad that maybe I might consider not doing more sneakers purchases and just go either eBay or something like that, because at least the box that comes to my house does not have that Nike emblem on it that says, or icon on it that says, hey, steal me right away. So, you already know what this shoe is. Hopefully I don't hit the fan this time. So, that was pretty dope. It went right over the monitor if you didn't see that. We got there. Actually, this is finish line. Got the finish line receipt. Keep that there intact. Let's open this up. No, stopping or whatever. Let's just get straight into the shoe. That's why you came here. I don't want to waste your time. And from the back, the Jordan 1 Turbo Greens. Now, funny story about this, and I'll say this just real quick. If you think that a shoe is widely available at most stores, might want to call the store to actually make sure that they actually have it. And I'll say that to say this. I was trying to get it on the sneakers app. Obviously, I took the L. We tried to go to a Foot Locker. Me and my friend tried to go to a Foot Locker nearby and thinking that it was there, or at least assuming. And unfortunately, it was like a wasted 5-7 mile trip because they didn't have it. And so just take it with a grain of salt. Make sure that if you decide to go to a store, call them up and make sure that they actually have it. Probably save you some gas and it'll save you some time. So let's get into the Turbo Greens. Now, off the bat, I can say like this basically looks, the design wise, looks similar to the Crimsons or neutral grays that released not too long ago. It's a shoe that I like the material. I just didn't like the colorway because it didn't have anything in my closet. I ended up sending it back to Nike. But I think I might be keeping these. So we already know off the bat, the Turbo Greens, how it has that off-white effect. Virgil had his hands in this, we can tell. It does have that SB Air Jordan 1 High marked on the, let's say the outside of the shoe. Ooh. But from what I understand, this can actually remove. This is removable. I wouldn't recommend you doing it, but you can remove this. But I can tell by the suede. The suede is a lot smoother with the Turbo Greens than it was. Well, green suede, I should say, is a lot smoother than it was with the neutral grays. And with that tumble leather has it's the same way as the neutral grays, but the design layout is a little bit different in terms of how it's tumbled all around the side, at least on the outsole of the shoe, the side panel. So let me before I continue on with the review and the whole what it's made of and all that stuff. So the reasoning behind this shoe, they wanted to pay homage to, again, going back to that NBA All-Star game that was hosted, I think it was 91 in Charlotte, the first time, back to the original Charlotte Hornets team. If you looked at the colorway, it had this turbo green, Aquaman, whatever you want to call the shoe colorway. And they wanted to pay homage to that team. Jordan wanted to pay homage to that particular team and that particular logo for the Hornets. So the Hornets we see now, it still has that colorway, but if you go back to the original starter jacket back in the 90s, if you looked at the NBA halftime show where J. Cole was performing, you looked at that jacket and you know that immediately that would go straight with this shoe. So that's why they picked the certain colorways, minus the yellow on the Nike icon, which I think was just to make it pop. But that's why when you look on the laces themselves, they come with the turbo green laces, which I plan on putting on this shoe to make it pop. I think the white, me personally, I'm not going to go with white because it's also on the toe box. It's on the side panels. But if you look on the actual tongue, it's that sail. It's the same sail color that you see on the midsole of the shoe. And quite honestly, I would prefer it to pop with the turbo green laces. Now the purple also, again, was a colorway that was used in the Hornets, the original 1991 Charlotte Hornets logo. So I can understand why people want to put that in there. Me personally, like I said, I'm just going to use the turbo green laces, call it a day. So that's why both these shoes and a lot of other shoes, some other shoes were featured in the All-Star release because they had ties and they're paying homage to the original Charlotte Hornets team and also the city of Charlotte back in 91 when the original NBA All-Star game took place for the first time in Charlotte. So let's get back to the shoe. Like we can see that, bring my comparison out. I still have, I can bring this out, still got my Sports Illustrated AJ1s because I like to compare them. And quite honestly, you can see one's a 12.5. This is a 13. I can wear both. The designs are still the same at the bottom, but in terms of the material, the only thing I can really tell the difference is that this has a smoother suede on the upper part of this shoe. And then they actually took away from the trend where, honestly, you would look at the bottom of the shoe and look at the color. They would keep the same color on the bottom of the shoe and make it the same on the upper. So black hair all the way around, you can see that. And then only to match at the bottom. They didn't do that with the crimsons. I don't think they did that with the turbo greens. Instead of making this kind of like that turbo green color, they decided to match this gray at the bottom with the lettering of the SP19 Spring Jordan 19 logo that's displayed on the shoe itself. So, with that said and done, I'm so happy to actually acquire both shoes because I secretly kind of wanted these, but I knew that there were going to be a limitation to these shoes. And again, I will stress: do not think just because some people are saying that these shoes are sitting in stores that again, they don't have the manifest, they don't know how many pairs were made, etc., etc. And I will say this before I head off on this video: if you notice in Charlotte, where the NBA All-Star events took place, it sounds like that Jordan brand or Nike wanted to have a vast majority of shoes available for people that actually went to the event. So that's probably why people are seeing more pairs available down there at the time. And whoever was down there and made it to the events, you probably got your pair probably easily than what people like me in Pennsylvania or Texas and California would probably get, because those pairs were shipment priority, in my opinion, to the Charlotte event, because everybody, Jordan wants to be Jordan. And they want to make sure that anybody that went to that event or the pop-up shops that were happening through the sneakers app wanted to make sure there was pairs available. Now, here's my prediction, and here's what I think what's going to happen. Well, we know that this is Thursday. The All-Star break is long gone. And now they're probably going to the inventory of pairs that weren't sold. And I think those pairs that weren't sold down in Charlotte are now going to be redistributed out to other stores and made widely available, and they'll probably label it as a restock, because essentially, especially I think, in my opinion, there are pairs that weren't sold down in Charlotte that's just going to be reached out to you. And another thing I want to make kind of to light here. So, resellers, listen, you got your bots, everything's cool. However, do not be surprised, and I think I said this about 2 videos ago, that this may, in my opinion, this may be the last AJ1s that we see at that 160 price point, because secretly Jordan, Nike, they're going to start raising prices, especially on the retro shoes, because of how these resellers are buying them in bulk and then reselling them. They're making X amount of dollars. I think the plan is, it's going to go. I think it's going to happen one or 2 ways. Either one, they're going to start nipping the funds that a reseller would make per shoe and kind of get that up front. So figure 160 now turns to 175. That's a $15 profit per shoe going towards Nike. That's $15 less that you make as a reseller per shoe. So, I don't know if they're getting fed up with the whole resell operation, or, and I mean this for unauthorized resellers, not authorized resellers. These are the 2 differences. Where people buy them in bulk and then they sell them. Look, you got your hustle, you do what you do, but I think that, in my opinion, that these companies are basically just catching up to what is going on in the back end, and they're going to start dipping their money or their hands into whatever profit these resellers, unauthorized resellers, are making. I'm not talking about you, me, taking this shoe and then selling it for $300. I'm talking about like people that buy in bulk and they have a vast majority of inventory and they're selling by the margin, like big margins. So just keep that with a grain of salt. Another thing that I'm seeing other companies do, like maybe actually Foot Locker, not yet, from a security standpoint, I think what's going to happen is to combat these bots. There's a couple ways you can do it from the technology guy. If you make a purchase, let's say I'm on footlocker.com, I put my credit card information, whether it be stocked on there or not, I hit the checkout, and in order to complete the sale, once I hit checkout, like a 2-factor authentication process then begins, right? So as soon as you hit checkout, it reaches the server. The server sends you back like a 6-digit code, or it says it's sending you a 6-digit code to your email or a text message You get that, enter the 6-digit code, whatever they sent you, into the screen or whatever cell phone, whatever the case may be, or the app itself, and then it authorizes that type of purchase. That will combat bots because honestly, you can make the purchase. The bots can be scripted to take you to checkout and go, but the server number is going to be unique. So it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or it could be 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or it could be a random number of either numbers or characters, A, B, C, D, exclamation point, whatever the case may be, and just a series of letters and numbers that's sent from the server to your, like I said, your cell phone or your email address that would complete the process. That would alleviate a lot of these bots trying to attack these servers and making it seamless and effortless for a buyer or unauthorized reseller. But I'm not trying to hurt the game. I'm just saying this is what I'm reading and what sounds like it could be happening in the future. So just keep that in mind for your bot users that are spending like close to $100 or whatever, $50 a month for certain services. It may not be beneficial to you in the future because, like I said, these companies are well aware of what we're doing, and they're going to want their share and their profits, and they're coming after people hardcore. So like I said, it wouldn't be a surprise. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jordan 4 Breads, for example, we know that price point could be at $200, $220. They may decide, you know what, we're going to resell this we're going to sell you this at $250. Another thing I'm also seeing is that the suggested retail price on the shoe, on the box, is most companies don't have to honor that. So just keep that in mind. So I could go to Foot Locker, and even though the suggested retail price on the box is $160 for these, they can turn around and sell it to me for $180, $200. They're authorized resellers. That's the difference. So just wanted to keep you guys informed, give you a little history about these two shoes, these two babies right here, Turbo Greens, infrared 6s. My first time owning the infrared 6s, and I'm kind of happy right now. Reading the history about this was pretty dope. So your boy Miltnificent, I told you I was going to come back with some more fire. I probably have something else in the works. I don't know, maybe, hopefully. But you know, your boy Miltnificent, subscribe to me. I'll subscribe to you. You know, keep your mind focused. Always read. You never know what you learn. I try to spit whatever I learn and knowledge to you guys because you're investing your time in this video. So therefore, it's only right that I basically give you that knowledge right back. Miltnificent again. Millie Milk Jr., the Grim Reaper. I'm going to reap the benefits, but I also want you to reap the benefits. And we're out. Peace out.